Good morning and welcome to day 4 on the Norwegian Breakaway. We are slowly sailing toward Tortola. We are up and at it just before 6:30. We're gonna head down and get some breakfast, probably at that buffet area. I did step out on our balcony to see how cool it was because I'm very much of a wimp when it comes to that. It feels very wet. It feels very foggy out there, but doesn't feel too cold, so that's a good sign. I don't know if you can see it, but I guess it felt wet out on the balcony because it's raining. Shoot, I thought it was just foggy. Hopefully this clears up. Every morning I'm always like, why don't they have more chocolate milk here? Like, where's all the chocolate milk? Well, at 6:30 there's a lot of chocolate milk. Yet another reason to get up early, because all the chocolate milk is like pretty much gone by the time we're eating breakfast. Our plan for the day is to take a ferry over to the Virgin Gorda Baths. And I kind of wanted to show you where I think the dock is for this ferry. We're just pulling into port, and if I had to guess, I think this is the dock where we're going to board that ferry. Total guess, but I know it takes off from Road Town, and I know Road Town is known for all these colorful buildings. That is my guess. I'll let you know, and I'll show you step by step how we get there when we get off the ship. We've made it into port, and just look at this view from our balcony. We got the Disney Fantasy right here. Lucky for us, we do actually have a pretty good view when we look towards the left, because we are far enough to the front of the ship. But yeah, it does look like a cloudy, rainy day so far here in Tortola. I'm hoping things will clear out by the time we're allowed to get off and catch that ferry to the baths today. 8 a.m. on the dot, and we're heading down to deck 4 forward, which should be right below where we are, 8 decks below where we are. We actually got the all clear 5 minutes before 8, so 5 minutes ahead of schedule, which is a great thing. The more time on Tortola, the better. We are off the ship. First tip is we actually brought a towel from our room. It looks like you can get towels here. A couple of fun photo ops as you walk towards Tortola. So again, we are looking for that Speedy's ferry. We want to take that to the Virgin Gorda Baths, hoping for some sort of signage so we know where we're going, but we'll keep you updated on how to get to those ferries. All right, just to give you an idea of where we walked to, that is our Norwegian Breakaway ship right there. We walked right through that red roofed building right there, all the way to the end of the sidewalk. And now we're kind of at a fork in the road, whether we go left or right. I'm thinking left, but I'm not really sure, so we'll let you know which way to go. So at that fork in the road that I showed you, to the right was a dead end, so we took a left. You're gonna pass a taxi stand, a bunch of taxis, and we just kept walking forward. I'm thinking that ferry station that I showed you from the ship is probably where we're headed. We see a couple of other cruisers in front of us, so I think we're headed the right way. Just to give you some landmarks, this building on our left is right here as we're walking down that same road. And I see a little blue sign right there that says, "To the ferry." So I think we're headed in the right direction. So here's a map we found on our way. It looks like we definitely are headed the right way. I think this was the Central Administration Complex we passed. We're right here, and we're heading to this Road Town ferry dock, so it looks like we're gonna take a left. This little intersection could be kind of confusing. We just kept on the sidewalk here and kept going left at that intersection. You'll start to see some of these colorful buildings, and I think that red roofed building, though, that's the one I pointed from the cruise ship. That's where we're headed towards. Okay, so this is the Speedy's desk that you're gonna wanna go to. Super easy, super friendly. We are gonna be able to get on the 9 o'clock ferry, and they gave us these wristbands. We also bought transportation to the beach, and then once we get to Virgin Gorda, the taxi drivers will recognize these wristbands, take us to the beach, and ask us what time we wanna return. Here we are on the other side of that building. This is where the Speedy's window was that I showed you, where we bought our tickets for the ferry. And then beautiful view of our Norwegian Breakaway as we wait for that. Speedy's ferry should be right here, or maybe on that dock right there. We did hear of another passenger off our ship say that her excursion got canceled to the Virgin Gorda. So maybe this could be a good option if your excursion does get canceled. Maybe just try to go out there on your own, take one of these ferries you'll still get to see the baths. 9:03 and we are boarding our ferry to Virgin Gorda. This is the first floor of the Speedy's ferry. There seems to be upstairs seating as well. I don't know if that was inside or outside. It is a little rainy, so we decided to opt for the first floor inside seating. If it's a rougher day on the seas and you get a little seasick, you probably see my arm going up and down. I would bring your Dramamine. Here we are, we made it to Virgin Gorda. It was just exactly about a 30-minute ferry ride. Now we're gonna catch our taxi to the baths. Just right off the dock are all the taxis that we're gonna take to the baths. This is what this wristband is for. It's $4 a person each way, so $16 for 2 people in addition to the ferry. Take a look, this is right where the taxi drops you off. Taxi is just behind me. Wow, definitely worth the ride and the ferry drive over here. Welcome to the baths. As I look over and the sign says that. Also cannot say enough about the wonderful people at Speedy's. So keep you informed, because we were just kind of wondering what time do we want to get back here. You just told us meet back here at 2:15 for the, I think, 2:45 ferry back. So that's what we're going to do. And just to mention, this is a Tuesday, so make sure you verify the schedule with Speedy's. This is where you're going to buy tickets to actually enter the baths. This is a sign just to the right of that ticket booth right there. You can see Devil's Bay is up there, which is where they're kind of directing people to go swimming and stuff. And down here is the baths trail. So tickets for the bath are $3 each. I think that may be lower than it usually is because there is a red flag today, which means no swimming. So now we are making our way up the trail to the baths, and we'll show you what it looks like when we get there. Pretty interesting that there's cactus on a tropical island. Something I wouldn't really expect. This is the trail where everyone is walking up. Make sure to stop here for a photo op. Look how gorgeous. Welcome to Devil's Bay. It probably took us a good 15 minutes to walk down from where the shuttle dropped us off to Devil's Bay Beach. I would probably allow 15-20 minutes as you're walking back up, as you'll be walking uphill, and it's, I wouldn't call it treacherous, but there is some trickier parts where you want to take your time so you don't trip. Unfortunately, because of that red flag I showed you means no swimming, but hopefully we'll be able to explore some of these rocky formations and at least dip our feet into this beautiful blue water. Also, I think a substantial shoe like water shoes is recommended on that trail we just did. Now, although it did say no swimming, people are still in the water, so I don't know if we're gonna chance it later. There does seem to be an official boat over there, maybe stopping people from going farther than this buoyed area. But to start off, I think we're gonna go along some of these other trails, maybe climb around in these rocks.